Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here with us today. Welcome to the demo day of Baker Hughes Energy Ideas Generation Program. Just a quick reminder, there are no fire drills planned for today, so if you hear the alarm ringing, please head out through the emergency exits that are shown on the map. And please gather in the meeting point, which is outside of this building, in front of this building. Thank you. Welcome everyone. Thank you for taking the time to be here with us today. This event marks the end of this acceleration program promoted by Baker Hughes and Nana Bianca. The three startups are here with us and they are ready to show the progress that they made through the months of acceleration with Baker Hughes and Nana Bianca. We're very excited to see all the objectives that they have accomplished. Now I know that we have a video about the program to show, so I'm going to leave the space for that.
Today is a happy day. We're starting, we have the startups, we have very high expectations for sure.
Every startup will come on stage and present their pitch.
This is the first time we have the experience of working with such an experienced team.
Consultant, technical expert, laboratory test, everything that would be impossible for our small startup.
We had the occasion to see with our own eyes how corporate mindset works and how it is organized.
A great difference between a program which just gives you some consultant theory.
Treating in-depth topics that go from technology to legislation to market.
The human relationship with the entire team helped us to work really hard, but also work having fun.
Hello? Okay, we're back. So as I was saying before, we have the three startups today that are going to present all the objectives that they have accomplished through the program. But first, we have some video connections. We have Chris Barkey, CTO at Baker Hughes. Hello, Chris. Can you hear us?
Hi, yes, I can. Hopefully you can hear me in the auditorium.
Yes, we can hear you. Hi, thank you for being here with us. What can you tell us about the Open Innovation Framework and the collaboration between the startups and the corporation to drive energy transition forward? So
great, thanks for that question. I think, look, Baker Hughes, we are trying to play a key role in helping address what we've termed the energy trilemma. So that's balancing energy security with energy sustainability and energy affordability. And really those three challenges are what the whole industry is tackling and actually is what's transforming the industry. Now our business strategy tackles that across three lenses. One is transform the core, which is really around some of our traditional pieces of technology, investing for growth where we've got things that are relatively mature that will allow us to grow into existing markets or actually grow into adjacent markets or indeed grow into new markets. And then the third one is positioning for new frontiers. And really that last one is where we have to invent and invest in disruptive innovation to create those new technologies and those new solutions that help us both in our business strategy, but also tackle the energy trilemma for the industry and actually, quite frankly, for the planet. So our approach is to invent, it's to accelerate, and importantly, one of our key values of Baker Hughes is to collaborate. And we've understood that to bring about that transformation, to bring the most transformative technologies to market. Yes, we can do some of those things on our own, but actually we need to collaborate with industry, we need to collaborate with startups, we need to collaborate with our customers. So collaboration is part of the name of the game of tackling that trilemma. So the Energy Ideas Program was launched by us as a concrete example of how we support that strategy, and actually part of how we innovate and how we drive innovation both within and outside of Baker Hughes. And this open innovation model allows us to engage with both the best internal and external talents. It allows us to build a network of startups, research centers, and universities, and indeed companies around the world, who are all focused on creating more efficient and sustainable energy solutions. And I'm delighted to see, some of you here today. And that combination of internal, external talents, hopefully allows us to accelerate the pace of innovation. And that all that matters is really the outcome in the long run. And the faster we can get there, we can see some of the challenges with temperature growth. If we can accelerate some of that, then it's better for all of us. And I think the other piece is that the Energy Ideas Program really opens the door to experimenting firsthand with a startup network that's well known for its fast, productive, proactive, and solution-oriented approach, but actually couples that with some of the strength of Baker Hughes in terms of our facilities, in terms of our laboratories, in terms of our testing and validation expertise. And I think that then benefits both. So Baker Hughes, we definitely get an injection of that entrepreneurial mindset, which actually we're trying to move to as part of our both business and cultural transformation, whilst not detracting from our foundation of engineering complex, critical products and solutions for the marketplace. So I think this is a symbiotic relationship. We both win. We get that injection of mindset, and everybody else gets that kind of access to parts of our expertise and our experience. And in collaborating with external partners, we move from doing it ourselves to partnership, which is part of our cultural transformation. Another concept in our transformation is from slow to fast incremental innovation. So that testing, benchmarking innovative ideas, failing fast, learning, pivoting, and trying something else is another part of our culture. And then obviously our drive to move from exclusivity to inclusivity, both in terms of the various lenses on diversity, but in particular with this one is embracing the diversity of thought. People coming from different backgrounds, with different experiences, with different ideas and different capabilities. If we can find a way to leverage all of that, then good things can only happen. And I'm pleased to say that, earlier this year in January, the first batch of the Energy Ideas Program went live with the 3 winning startups, Adaptronics, Rosilco, and Graphene XT. And they were selected from 56 applicants, and they're all complementary in their fields of action, ranging from innovative electrostatic gripping devices to a system for carbonation of the residues from industrial processes, and a process to produce graphene and to obtain stable liquid solution with that graphene, which can be used for things like lubrication. So look, this is a really exciting program for me. It's a really important program for me and lines up nicely with both our business strategy, our kind of social strategy to tackle the energy trilemma, and our innovation strategy about how we move things forward, and our cultural transformation about how we make some mental shifts in our behaviors and the way we do work. And with that, hopefully that answers the question, and I'll pass back to the Florence Learning Center.
Yes, thank you very much, Chris, for your contribution. And can we please have a round of applause for Chris? Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Goodbye, have a nice day, and enjoy the rest of the event, even from remote. I also want to say hi to everyone watching. I know we're streaming on Nana Bianca's YouTube channel. On that note, Alessandro Sordi, CEO and co-founder of Nana Bianca, couldn't be here with us today, but I know he is here in spirit, and he left a video message to share with all of you, which we'll play right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, investor, startup founders, and member of the innovation community. My name is Alessandro Sordi. I'm CEO and co-founder of Nana Bianca. I'm here today proud to be part of the demo day for Baker Hughes Energy Ideas Generation Program. This moment marks the conclusion of the first cycle of our acceleration program, and it's an opportunity to celebrate the remarkable outcomes and achievements of our startup. First of all, I want to express my gratitude to Baker Hughes for their steady collaboration in this transformative initiative. As a partner and promoter, Nana Bianca provided support in setting up the program, and we also increased the understanding of the startup ecosystem in Italy and in Europe. Cooperating with Nana Bianca, Baker Hughes and the selected company gained unique access to mentorship, industry insight, and cutting-edge technologies. Together, we have established a platform where companies and research projects contribute to the innovation of the energy sector. Today, we gather to honor the startups that have engaged this open innovation journey. Over past weeks, these companies have given proof to be able to follow their project and push themselves to the limit. The team we showcase today, the team and the startup we showcase today, represent a diverse range of sectors and offer groundbreaking solutions in the energy sector. I wish to congratulate, in finish, all the startups for their outstanding achievement. Your constant research of innovation and collaboration has demonstrated the true potential of open innovation in driving important change. I would also like to acknowledge the contribution of our mentors, advisors, and the entire Nana Bianca team who has supported these startups throughout the program. Thank you all for being part of this incredible journey, and have a good job for the day. Bye.
Thank you, Alessandro. We have another connection. Someone could not be here with us today. We have Christopher Pinheri, Director of Research and Technology at Baker Hughes. Hi, Chris. Can you hear us?
Hi, Can
Hi.
you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. How are you?
Very good. Yourself?
I'm good, thank you. So, what can you tell us about the impact that this Open Innovation Program had, its key figures and outcomes?
So, good morning from Vancouver. I'm really sorry I could not be with you today. But I think, with the modern ways of collaborating, I'm in person on a big video screen. So very excited today to be with you in video, part of this demo day. I mean, the excitement that we generated last year from this program in terms of the cultural learning piece between, Baker Hughes and the startups, I think it really hit home when we had the startups collaborating with our mentors with 8 different teams in Baker Hughes. 40 different folks from Baker Hughes have been involved in infusing knowledge into the startups. But not only that, we have also learned a lot from the startups themselves. Chris touched a little bit on this entrepreneurial mindset, us being more nimble as a big company and learning to move fast and fail fast. So we had a number of workshops in Florence. I even gave up my office for the startups to collaborate in a good environment, very co-located to the rest of the folks in Baker Hughes. So I think we have learned a lot from this this first experience, and it's been a very good experience, which says that we're on the right track to propel ourselves to the next phase of the collaboration with Nana Bianca. So I think moving forward, looking at phase 2 and some of the startups we have worked with, the 3 winning ones, I think there's a lot more potential to explore and align some of the things that they have invented, they have discovered with some of the business lines and product lines of Baker Hughes. So I think I'm extremely excited as I look forward to phase 2 and phase 3, and also expanding beyond the boundaries of Italy into Europe. It has also helped us take a step back and think about globalizing this approach. So I'd like to give a big thanks to Alessandro and the Nana Bianca team for inspiring us really to have a think beyond the border. So I think the program has delivered its goods. We're in the middle of it, and we continue to look forward to collaborating with you. I think finally, though, I will need to underline 3 names who have been pivotal for the success of this, without whom, I think the broader team, everybody has helped, collaborated with the excitement, participated in the fray. So Sally, I'll start with you, and then Davide and Jacopo, of course, on our side. So without you, I think this program wouldn't be what it is today. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Chris. I think you speak for everyone. I think everyone is very excited about this first batch that just ended, and the next batch. For the startups watching and startups here today, the call is open. So if you wish to be selected for this program, you can apply on the Baker Hughes Energy Ideas Generation Program website. But so thank you again, Chris, for your contribution. And now I think we can start with the exciting part of this event here today. We have the 3 startups. I would like to call the first startup on stage. We have Paolo Brazzo for Resilco. Welcome. Microphone. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for introduction, and hello everyone. My name is Paolo Brazzo, and I'm the head of research and development of Resilco. Today I'm going to talk to you about our process, our core process, which is named cavitation intensified carbonation. And this represents an innovative approach towards waste management through CO2 mineralization. Resilco was born in 2019 in Bergamo, and from our beginning we were focused on the treatment and recovery of industrial byproducts. Apart from me, the team is composed by our CEO David Caglievo, our engineer Alessandro Panza, and our business developer Marta Pigazzini. The challenge that we wanted to face are several and challenging. First of all, we have tons of potentially useful industrial byproducts that today are labeled as waste, and by so they are disposed in landfill. Due to different kind of problems, they are rich in terms of heavy metal, leachable heavy metals, and they have processed an IPH in most of the cases. On the other hand, we have the CO2 produced by the so-called hard-to-abate industries, which are industries for which there is no actually a validated technology for reduction of their CO2 emissions. And last but not least, we have more general statement, which is the need to reduce the use and dependency from natural resources. What we propose here is a process. Our process is able to recover secondary raw materials starting from industrial byproducts, and we do so by entrapping CO2. And the CO2 is stocked permanently inside, and moreover, we can take this CO2 directly from the emissions of the industries. And since the process is very versatile, it can be applied to a different number of industrial byproducts. Now, let's just focus on 2 words in the name of our process, so cavitation and carbonation, because they describe mostly everything that is happening. So for carbonation, we are just referring to the reaction of CO2 with metal oxides or hydroxide in order to give metal carbonates. And it's important to know that calcium and magnesium carbonate are insoluble. This is very important, so keep that in mind for later. The process can happen in nature and is spontaneous, but the problem is that it's low. And why it's low? Because there is a low concentration of CO2 in the atmosphere. And when you hear about accelerated carbonation technology, those are mostly technology that are improving the reaction speed. And the first thing they do to do so is increasing the CO2 concentration. usually this is not enough, and so we'll deal with that also later. So accelerated technology can be performed on different feedstock, on natural rocks, but another important thing that can undergo accelerated carbonation are alkaline industrial byproducts. To name a few, we have the slags from the steelmaking industry, which by them account for more than 16 million tons just in Europe. And then we have the ashes from the municipal waste incinerators. Those wastes are abundant, and they are generally rich in metal oxides, which are useful for CO2 reaction, like calcium and magnesium oxides. So therefore, these kind of wastes are suitable raw materials for CO2 sequestration. And if you have to imagine very small grains that form a powder, and those grains, when react with CO2, they form a shell, a layer of calcium carbonate, and since it's insoluble, it cannot just be dissolved in water, so it stays there. And what is this? What are the benefits of this kind of shell? Well, the pH is lowering because the substances that are responsible for the high pH are just reacting with CO2, and they are losing alkalinity, so the pH is stabilized. The heavy metals are stabilized too, because some of them can react with CO2, forming also carbonates, but most of them are now in an environment where they cannot leach out. So from your grains, they cannot go outside, so you have a stabilization, and you can now be conform to the regulation. Lastly, the CO2. The CO2 is permanently stocked, so unless you are heating up those materials up to 400, 500 degrees, you are not releasing CO2 into the environment. And which is the fate of those processed materials? They can be used mostly in the construction industry, in concrete additives. You can use them as fillers, or they can have also some interesting reaction properties when they're mixed with concrete. Now, this is the secret ingredient to our recipe, which is cavitation. So there are a lot of accelerated carbonation techniques. We take advantage of cavitation, which by itself is the formation of rapid collapse of vapor bubbles into liquid medium. And those bubbles, when collapse, are generating shock waves. Now, when they emit this kind of shock wave, you can reach locally, and for a very short period of time, high temperature and pressure. You can see in this short video, now there is a very small cavitation bubbles forming. It stabilizes, reaches maximum, and then start collapsing itself. There is a big jet which erupts, and then you may have noticed the shock wave, but now in the following animation you will see it better. Now you can see the bubble collapsing, and you have the burst of the shock wave. Okay, how much damage can be caused by those kind of shock wave? A lot. Propellers, cavitation is like a nightmare for propellers. It's a nightmare also to submarine head and for piping, so usually cavitation is unwanted. But there are some fields that are taking advantage of cavitation, like if you want to make some homogenization, like oil in water emulsion, or if you want to reduce the size of solids suspended in water. For our purposes, cavitation is very important because it helps to increasing the reactivity of our feedstock. Just the CO2 can react with more material that we supply. And it is also improving the interaction of CO2, which is a gas. It helps the dissolution and reaction of CO2 with the feedstock. So we took the accelerated carbonation process and we spiced up with our cavitation. So from the merging of these two technologies, we come up with our process. We were born in 2019, and we were selected for Baker Hughes Energy Idea Generation programs in 2022. During this period, we filed 2 Italian patents on our technologies, and we had a first round of investment. Then today, we are ongoing into the transition from a lab scale plant to the industrial scale demo plant. And we foresee that in 2024, we will be ready with 2 validated and operative pilot plants. During the gas adventure, we had the opportunity to discuss with Baker Hughes team with a lot of issues, and we found for every issue we found a plethora of interesting things to delve into. Here I will report 3 important points that we discussed together. First one is the cavitation simulation software, then solid separation devices, and then an overview on application and regulation. Usually, if you have an industrial process and you can simulate, you have to do it, because this can help you to understand which are the key parameters to improve and how to do this. Luckily, we don't have any experience in terms of simulation, and we're also dealing with a system which by itself is really complex. Baker Hughes has presented us with which are the state-of-the-art codes and programs that are actually used in fluid dynamics to simulate cavitation. And they also provide us the background that lies beneath them. In the end, we establish a kind of roadmap in which we can start together, starting from the basics of cavitation, trying to simulate the easiest system that we can imagine, and then step by step we can move towards a more complex solution that can just be like the environment in which we are moving. Then we have the solid separation devices, because by ourselves we focus on the process, but also the recovery the material is very important, because we start from a powder, we mix it with water and gas, and at the end we want to achieve a powder too, and maybe we want that powder to be dry. Moreover, we want that kind of system to be mounted on a skid-like structure, because we want our plant to be very easy and mobile. Baker Hughes provide us talks and meetings with different industries, in particular with the JETEC company, which provides state-of-the-art machinery. And from that, we were able to select the kind of machinery that suit for our needs. And lastly, we are dealing with an environment which changes rapidly day by day, so we need to focus on two important points. First of all, the market placement of the materials that we are producing that come out of the plant, and then the regulation that lies beneath the end of waste certification from the waste management and the carbon credit accountability, because storing CO2, you can generate profit by carbon credit. And we have very interesting talks with the Baker Hughes team that is involved into the CO2 storage and usage technology. We have an overview on direct air capture technologies. We had an overview also on the supplementary cementitious materials in the European market. And then in the end, we had a very important talk with some lawyers about the end of waste Italian regulation. So, in conclusion, we started selecting some important wastes that are today disposed as waste, but that can have a second life. And we've patented and developed a process that can use CO2 in order to stabilize them. Those materials can now be valorized as secondary raw materials and can be re-emitted into the market in the construction industry. And along with Baker Hughes and Nana Bianca, we had the opportunity to clarify some important issues and to have a better understanding of the environment in which we are moving. So I would like to thank both Baker Hughes and Nana Bianca team for their help and their company during our journey, and I want to thank you all for your kind attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Paolo. So I have a question for you. Yes. In which area did the involvement in the Energy Ideas Generation program benefited your startup the most in terms of human and strategic growth?
Okay, so thinking about the company from the most technological point of view, we had also the impression to work with an unlimited toolbox of resources. So for every problem that we came up, they always came up with solutions, idea, talks. So at the end we had a bunch of paths to explore, and also immediate solution, like I saw the solid separation device that was a very well-pointed idea, and then like all the paths did together. From the personal point of view, we have always felt not the sensation to work with a corporate, but it was like to have a well-mixed team. So we were like to know from a long time. So it was easygoing, and we have the impression to work with a long ago formed team. So we were really proud to be part of this.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Can you have a round of applause for Resilco? Now it's time for the second startup, Graphene XT. Please, Simone Ligi on stage. Welcome.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for listening to me. Okay, I'm Simone Ligi, director of GrapheneXT, a small startup based in Bologna. A bit of my background, I'm coming from a large chemical company called Ineos, and more than 10 years ago I decided to investigate the properties of graphene, and after some years came out GrapheneXT. As I said, GrapheneXT is a small company, but it's a leader in graphene application. Just a number for my assertion, we are part of the big consortium, European consortium with more than 150 partners called Graphene Flagship. The Europe gives 1 billion euro in order to boost the graphene usage in practical application. After 10 years, out of the 7 products this consortium came out, 4 are coming from GrapheneXT. We are small, but we are very flexible, fast, and efficient. We often succeed where the others fail. And this is some of the products we did. The most recent one is the dry-to-touch lubricant. It's a new product we just start to commercialize. It's coming from our eco-friendly production of graphene. It's graphene produced through water, so it's very simple. It does not use harmful chemical toxic material, and this will be a new paradigm in lubrication. When you think about lubrication, you think about oil stuff, something that make your finger dirty, something that make dirty the soil, spit out. We're gonna replace the oil and lubricated the material with just thinly dry coating. This will not go in the soil, will be more efficient than the oil, will not go everywhere. We have as well other material like additive already commercialized, additive for engine car, which help you to save up to 30% of fuel, drilling fluid under development, membrane for gas separation like hydrogen, CO2, methane. Hydrogen is a hot topic, so we are developing also an high gas barrier coating for hydrogen and other applications. When we start the startup, because we found some problem to solve. We thought that we had some technology to solve the problem. The problem we're going to speak today is about friction. Friction is the reason why we spend almost 23% of the energy produced in the world by lubrication, by generating heat, by friction. By improving the friction, we can reduce largely the amount of greenhouse emission. Or for the people who are more looking to the money, we can save up to 500 billion euro in the midterm, 1.4 of the GDP. And most of this saving can come from power generation and transportation. Graphene is one of the solutions, and it's one of the best solutions for reducing friction. The graphene got astonishing properties on the lubrication. It's a very good lubricating system. In last year, there were more than 12,000 scientific papers just claiming the lubrication properties of graphene. It's a massive amount of scientific paper. This is an example, a study we did internally. You see the curve, the bottom curve, it's from our graphene. Lower the curve, less is the friction. Stable the curve, more is the time to resistance of this friction. And our graphene bypass all the other material already used. This is an example on what I just showed is the effect of lubrication over metal, but we can coat either metal, polymer, glass, ceramic, everything. And it's the advantages of our technology, actually is the advantage of our company, is that usually we develop something ready to be industrialized. Our products are not only competitive with the other graphene producer or cost effective with already existing technology. Our products usually are developed to be ready to be used industrially. This is some of the products we already have, we already commercialize, which are taking the advantage of graphene properties. And these are some of the key facts of our company. I think the most important is that either graphene production, lubricant production can be easily the bottleneck. And this is our roadmap. We were born back in 2016. On 2017, we did a pretty successfully crowdfunding campaign, which allowed us to set up industrial plant and to commercialize in 2021 the first product. Now we are looking to expand our market. In order to do that, we look for partnership, joint venture, everything which will help to expand our market and to commercialize the new material which are already studying in the laboratory, like boron nitride nanotechnology. Let's speak about the program. When we applied to the program, we were just looking for a new potential partner, customer. Then we did as usually, or not really usually, 20 mentorship, it's quite a bit of mentorship, but with technical, financial, and management area. But the huge difference between this program and the other program is that we had experts to analyze our product. It was not just a suggestion. You give just a consultant. They go in deep in our company, in our product. They look to our product, and they suggest us, between the large plethora of Baker Hughes activities, what could be some fast validation tests for some of our products. We choose together 2 applications, and 2 applications are already under validation, service, an improved service oil, and the coating for a lubrication coating. And we already delivered to them more than almost 80 samples, which for a small startup is great success. And this is a merit of the Baker Hughes and Nana Bianca team, which invented a different way to accelerate a startup. We also gain a lot from this program. We understand that we have some unicity to industrialize process. And even if we are small, we understand also that we can grow even better than what we did till now. This is an example. At the Nana Bianca headquarters, we did the Lego test. We did apply, this picture was not from the Nana Bianca, was from our headquarters, where we did the same training and we already changed our strategy. And last but not least, we may have another new product. It's a product that we already have, we already knew, but we didn't know it could be useful for industry. And we're going to analyze soon the potential of this product. What we learn as a startup is that the limit for us to grow is only our capacity to imagine the reality different from what we was thinking before. And with that, I would like to thank you again, Baker Hughes and Nana Bianca, and all my team to create Graphene XT. Thank you.
Thank you, Simone. Thank you for your inspirational presentation. I wanted to ask you, did you have fun being a startup and doing startup while tasting the corporate world?
It was different. It was completely different because I came from a corporate, and I know that usually corporate tend to be slowed down. And I found a nice team, nice speaking very directly, fast reaction. But the way they invented the program is the way to speed up everything to be more effective. There is a huge gap between corporate and startups. We usually tend to be very fast, and we need to do it faster. And they found a way to let the 2 worlds interact together. That was completely different. Then the people, it's brilliant, but this is a personal.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Graphene XT. Last but definitely not least, the third startup. Can we please have Camilla Conti from Adaptronics on stage? Welcome.
So hello everyone, hope you're still awake. So it's kind of nice to be here and wrap things up. I think it was almost 1 year ago when WMF, I think it was Jacopo and Davide, maybe was together with you. You came around at the WMF stand and said, okay, why don't you apply? So here we are, so it's nice to be here and see what happened. So my name is Camilla Conti. I'm co-founder and COO of Adaptronics. We are a deep tech startup that is basically reinventing the way robots and machines in general grab objects to make logistics more sustainable, both on Earth and beyond, and in space. And this is because we identified that logistics has a huge number of issues, such as the need for more automation, also to avoid package damaging, which is very commonly due to wrong handling practices. But logistic issues are not limited to Earth only. If we look up, actually, there's a huge number of satellites that need to be refueled, to be maintained, and so on. So you need to grab them and work on them. And also, this is an environment where millions of space debris are flying by, and no one really knows how to catch them. So the underlying issue here, and this logistic issue, is that currently there is no effective way, no effective robotic mechanism to grasp all kinds of different objects. So this is where we come in. So we invented a thin layer technology that becomes adhesive on command when it is electrically activated. So we exploit the same principle that makes a balloon stick to your hair when you rub it, and it's electrostatics. So we exploit the physics to produce grasping devices that are very force dense, because with 2 patches the size of a credit card, we're able to lift up to 50 kilograms. But we can scale the total force simply by increasing the size of the patches that we work with. So we produce devices that are very light, very energy efficient, that work in space, so in microgravity and vacuum, and also have a sensor feedback on touch and proximity with the contact object. All of this we provide without the need for pneumatic mechanisms, so no compressors, no magnets. We don't need to dissipate heat, and we don't need to predispose the target object. Let's say we adapt to the target object, as you can see here, not the other way around. So this allows us to produce very versatile grasping mechanisms on different shapes, materials, and sizes. So for our Earth applications, currently we are incubated by the European Space Agency in Turin, and we are currently carrying out tests in space-like environments. So we're simulating the deep vacuum of space right now. So how does this all work? So we have internal capabilities for printed electronics, which is already a scalable production process. We also have internal capabilities on mechanical design. So we couple the production of the printed electronics with production and design of these thin fingertips, let's say. And then we apply our patches onto the fingertips, which then becomes adhesive on command when we want them to. This allows us to become an enabling technology for a huge range of robotic grasping applications. An example is in industrial logistics in general. So in assembly lines, like for example, turbine blades production lines for Baker Hughes, pick and place, conveyor belts, and so on. But also we enable agri-tech in automation, for example, grasping delicate fruits and vegetables, but also autonomous robots, so drones, delivery, and so on. And also we are enablers of in-orbit operations, so the so-called in-orbit services, as I was saying before, docking satellites to refuel and maintain them, and also grasp and grab all kinds of different space debris. We have a pretty strong industrial traction, so currently we have a pipeline of about 6 projects with corporates for proof of concept projects starting or ongoing. And we also have interest from producers of machinery to harvest and sort all kinds of fruits. We have several grants from the Emilia-Romagna region, and also we have quite a strong interest from space logistic companies that would like to implement our solution. So here's an example of what we do here. So we've shown before, this is a classic example from the guys, so grabbing beer bottles. This is always very common. You can see that it becomes adhesive, and then we release it, and we release the bottle. Also here is some integration of our patches in a robot called a Delta robot to move packages around. This is from specifications from companies. And also we're now working on space applications at the moment. So none of this would have been possible without our team. Okay, so this is a top-notch team. We have a very strong technical expertise as a spin-off company of the University of Bologna, so PhD level, and we coordinate and collaborate with several PhDs in our lab. Also, we already have embedded sales and business experience in our founding team. We are addressing a market that is immense. Logistics is huge. We focus on material handling equipment, and we are starting from our own region. We have about 300 companies that are producers of automated machines in the world of packaging and logistics, so a huge sector. But we are also looking to expand in space. Space economy is booming, and we could be a key enabling technology for that. Who do we go up against? Okay, so moving objects around automatically is given as a commodity by a huge number of producers. So we tend to compare ourselves against technologies rather than single producers. So in industrial applications, our main competitors are suction cups. Okay, so they're the most commonly used ones. In space applications, the way to grab objects today is through mechanical docking. There is no way around that at the moment. However, pneumatic lines and suction cups are very invasive. They damage the objects. They're slow and they're energy intensive, in the range of kilowatts being needed. Whilst mechanical docking in space needs to predispose the target object, you need for it to be collaborative, so it does not work on space debris. On the other hand, we are extremely versatile, conform to the object, so we adapt to the object, and we're also foldable. So the way we give the solution to our customers is very different and gives us a strong advantage to compare to competitors that also give similar solutions. So how do we try to make money? I mean, that's the goal of the company. So the idea is to sell the layers that we produce in a scalable way and to sell them to producers of automated machines or robots or any automated system in general to move objects around, both for Earth and space applications. For our go-to-market strategy, we're actually looking to complement this with some customization and some systems engineering. So we're looking to assemble our technology on third-party machines and give a complete gripper solution to the end customer. So this is our roadmap. We started and founded a company about 1 year ago. And we, in the meantime, raised about 200K equity-free from startup competitions, have undergone several incubation programs and also a couple of acceleration ones, and have gone to the US a couple of times too. So we are currently in a product market fit phase and market validation through proof of concept projects. And we are currently fundraising for our first pre-seed round. And hopefully this will go on with a larger round within next year. So here comes Baker Hughes and this program. Okay, so this is the perfect program for us because, well, it's our phase. Okay, so we're in proof of concept phase, market validation. So what better way of tackling this issue through a program that actually makes us work with a possible customer? So this is why we work here. So what we really appreciated through this program is the fact that we could work on two sides, okay? Both the technical part and the, let's say, business side with a different point of view. The point of view of a corporate and possibly that would be an example of our possible customers. So it was very useful for us. On the technical side, I would say the key highlights were 3 very interesting visits. So first of all, Adaptronics went to Baker Hughes, so we were hosted by your facilities here, so thank you for that. It was very interesting to talk to groups in robotics, printed sensors, and also to see the production shop. So this was very important for us to understand how to work with a company that, that produces objects, that has assembly lines and so on. Second, people from Baker Hughes came to our lab to understand what our production capabilities were. And third, we went to the Talamona plant. So again, that was very interesting to understand the logistics of a workshop. So we concluded this with a very nice technical ideation session where we studied and looked at several ideas of how to integrate our solution in either production lines or in products from Baker Hughes. So we have these 2 kind of things that could be developed in the future. On the business side, that was very interesting too. So we have, I counted them, I think there are more than 12 mentorship sessions over, let's say, an all-round strategy review. So we went through business model canvas and validation, both with people from Baker Hughes, Nana Bianca, and also external experts. Also, we found a nice way, a fun way through the Lego workshop to identify what the key points of attention would be, and which we tackled straight away through a dedicated mentoring session on IP. So I think that was a very interesting program for us overall, which contributed to our overall growth. So I really can't help enough the teams from both Nana Bianca and Baker Hughes for this. And well, we're here for questions if you have any. Thank you.
Thank you, Camilla. I also have a question for you. So what do you think are the fundamental significant differentiators of the Baker Hughes Energy Ideas Generation program compared to those that you have previously experienced in the past?
Well, that's a good question, and it's the reason why we chose this program to take part in, because we took part in several acceleration programs over the last couple of years, and most of them, they have a lot of, I would say, lectures, workshops, and so on. So we had plenty of those already, so this wasn't what we were looking for. What we needed was a dedicated contact with a corporate. So that's the exact, let's say, focus of this program. And I would say that to understand the inner workings of a large company, that is quite some lessons learned. Because I mean, every large company is different, but to see how one works, it kind of allows you also to have a feeling of what it means to work with large corporates. So I think that was the main differentiator. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Camilla. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, the startups, for being here today. I think everybody is very excited to see what the next batch will bring. Just a quick reminder, the selection is currently open. You can apply for the second batch on the Baker Hughes Energy Ideas Generation Program website. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you to everyone who watched us from home, wherever home may be. And since we're finishing a little bit early, if you would like to stay and ask questions to the startups, to the Nana Bianca team or the Baker Hughes team, you're welcome to stay with us. And thank you very much, and have a great rest of your day.